So we decided to start a vlog. So 100 episodes later. What really happened?
Don't know.
It seems... It feels like it was some sort of success.
Yeah. Time really flies. And when you look back at the quick pictures in the beginning, you can see that something has happened here.
So that was 5 years compressed into 5 minutes.
Good job.
Yeah. We were thinking that we are going to show you some statistics of the channel, and
it's quite interesting. Yeah. So first we have a list with our most watched videos.
The video where Tova shows around in the cabin has surprisingly has soon 6.5 million views. That's insane.
Yeah.
Also the total views of the channel, 22 million views. That's insane.
Yeah. Impressive.
And also it's interesting that the 2-hour video that we made a couple of years ago
with no talking.
Yeah, just the whole year, summer, all the season, summer, spring, winter, fall. It's got over 2 million views. That's interesting.
We didn't think it would be that popular because it's a really long video with no talking, so... Det är som 2 hår. Den där går.
Den går.
And next, these are the views from different countries. And we got most viewers in the United States.
Canada's 2nd place and UK at 3rd place.
Sweden is...
Number 5.
Yeah, well.
That's quite good.
Finland is on the list as well.
Next one shows what age our viewers are, and mostly between 25 to 34 years old. But it's quite even from 25 to 54. So
it's interesting, we got a lot of 65 plus years old watching as well.
So that feels really nice that we can have such a broad span.
Mm.
Yeah.
All these statistics is all time.
Yeah, lifetime from the start.
From the channel's lifetime.
Yeah.
So if we check these statistics
for certain videos, it can be different.
Yeah, in a couple of in a span of couple of months or something, it can vary very much. So I have noticed one interesting thing is that when we publish a video, there is much more older people watching in the beginning, and then after a while it starts to even out.
First on the ball.
Next after that is men and women, and this is
it's really nice. 50-50.
Curious.
Yeah. So after that we have the subscribed vs not subscribed who watch the videos, and there's quite a difference.
So a majority of our viewers are not subscribed to the channel. So this is one of the most interesting statistics for me. This is the 100th episode. But on our channel we have 116 videos. So some of our special videos we haven't counted as
episodes.
A regular episode or so to speak.
So the midwinter videos and my showing around the cabin, and yeah, those are not in the episodes.
And the average length of all the videos on this channel is 27 minutes and 42 seconds. But what is most interesting is that we have produced over 2 days of edited videos, or how to say.
Good job.
That is 53 hours of finished product, or how to say. That's a long movie. 53 hours. It's a long movie.
And what makes these videos possible is our wonderful patrons. And right now we have 1019, but it's not a stable. They come and go. So, but around 1,000.
And we are so grateful for all of you that have been patrons and all of you that still are. Without you, this would not have been possible.
Not at all. So it's thanks to you, 54 hours of video could be produced. And we would also like to thank all our supporters, our viewers, all the nice comments. It really means a lot to us that you are here with us.
Thank you, everyone.
Huh?
Truly.
It's amazing. Vad säger du, Ivar?
Kakone. This is also something curious. We have had one of our videos demonetized. And YouTube says it's because of sexual content.
Wouldn't put it like that, but...
I guess childbirth is intimate, but I don't know.
We did a community post on YouTube and asked for questions. And we have tried to answer some of them, but sorry if we couldn't answer your specific question. We got a lot of questions.
Some of the questions brought up topics that can be a little bit controversial or provoking, and it shouldn't be necessary for me to say this, but I'll say it anyway. We share some stuff from men and women that we get inspired by, some books and
talks
and things that you can check up for yourself. This doesn't mean that we necessarily agree with everything they say. We don't have a problem listening to people that says something that we don't agree with.
So even if they say something we don't agree with, they can say something else that is valuable. So you will just have to read and listen for yourself and make up your own mind.
as with everything.
Yeah.
So I've learned so much these past 2 years that I no longer take anything anyone says at face value. But I don't discard it either before I have myself put some time and effort into looking into it. And then I can form my own opinion after that. So I have basically stopped assuming that I know anything. There is so much that people believe is true that they have not spent a second looking into. And I guess I've been one of those as well. Now I really try to not discard anything or not believe anything unless I have spent time looking into it. So any information we share in any of our videos is just what we believe at that moment in time. It could change to the next day. And also, don't believe anything we say. Please take your time and look into these things yourself. What I've done for these past years is like when someone says something that stirs up an emotion in me or provokes me in any way, I get curious and try to look at the feeling I get instead of engaging. Why do I feel this way when someone tells me something? Do I have any preconceived notions about this topic that is being discussed? So that has been interesting. I've tried to do that with everything for the past couple of years. Just like, why do I
get upset?
Yeah, why do I feel this way when I hear this information? Is there something that I have thought to be true that I have just
assumed to be true?
Assumed to be true. Yeah. Well, with that said, on to the questions. First questions. What are your guys' interests, hobbies besides the farming life? Filming.
Reading.
Filming and creating these YouTube videos, I guess.
I don't know. I like to be in my garden with my herbs. I don't know. We don't have any interests.
What? Too many,
yeah,
I would say.
Maybe too many. Working with wood, but it's nice to go and visit family and friends also and see something else than the farm sometimes.
What I've been spending my time lately on, or the last 2 years on, is reading about germ theory versus terrain theory, and also lately a lot about common law or natural law. So I've spent a lot of time researching those topics. But other than that, in my free time, or how to say, I spend a lot of time reading about regenerative agriculture and also video editing, like learning about it.
I also make like a bit jewelry, like earrings and stuff from wood and bone. So some of that, and also the needle binding when we have the time. I have also been studying about the runes and reading about them, and I find it quite interesting. And also some woodworking. I'm making boxes right now out of shrink wood, so it's really fun.
So the question had 3 parts, and second one was, how do you deal with the stress? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Stress about?
I don't know. I mostly have stress about projects not being finished fast enough, but I often also realize that this is a journey and we are supposed to enjoy it, so it comes and goes.
The thing I stress about in our situation right now is to get the videos done, and sitting inside in front of the computer when the sun is shining outside is hard. So oftentimes I postpone the work all the in the month and in the last days of the month I really work from morning to evening. So I have not really learned yet to manage this life of working for ourselves. that good. And part 3 of this question, favorite movies.
It's a really hard one.
So mine is Drive and Valhalla Rising, and also Dead Man. And if we're talking about series, I really like Twin Peaks and
Stranger
Things. Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can name any favorite, but I like the genre of how do you say?
Costume drama.
Yeah, costume drama, like the Jane Austen adaptations and things like that. I can also like to watch some silly comedy type just to spend some time. Mathias isn't that fond of, as you heard from his collection of favorites. How connected do you feel to the surrounding world? Is your off-grid life causing you to live a less information-busy way as well, or do you stay fully connected to us mortals who remain plugged in? Well, because of our work with the videos, I guess we are kind of plugged in.
We are very much plugged in, but we are not watching the news, so to speak. In my opinion, that's all just lies.
So with that said, we are plugged in, but we are trying to stay away from the noise.
Next question. If you were forced to live in another country that wasn't Scandinavian, where would you go?
That's a really hard one.
Have no idea. But somewhere where you could relatively easy live as free as possible and also grow some fruit trees.
Yeah.
I have no idea where that would be.
You can send us some suggestions. Have you ever regret the decision to live the way you do? No.
I wouldn't say so. So we have got a lot of these questions asking about if we are going to have more children or not. And I guess you will have to wait and see.
Will you homeschool Ivar, and if so, how will you go about it? And this is an issue that we are struggling with.
We have been reading these ones and also these ones. And the thing is, in the Corporation of Sweden, it is illegal to homeschool. So this is something that will potentially be an issue in a couple of years for us. We have no idea how to solve this and what will happen. But we intend to be very open about our journey and what we are learning. And currently we are very much into this thing called unschooling.
So yeah, if you have the suggestions for the good countries for fruit trees. Yeah. It's from the age of 6 years that they have to start school. So we have some years to figure out what to do.
This topic is very interesting and very big, so I guess we will talk about it more in the future. But right now it feels like a very heavy weight on our shoulders because we really don't want to move from here. Opinions change and so on, but right now my opinion is that forced learning is child abuse. So schooling is
complicated.
We have got questions and comments under our videos over the years about my change from the vegan diet to how we eat now. And that is also a very large topic, so I don't really know what to say.
I guess we will have a dedicated video for that.
Yeah, I said that a couple of years ago and I haven't made it yet.
No. Still time.
But in short, we try to eat as local and traditional as possible. And vegetables don't grow here unless you want to be in a constant war with nature. And for me, the 10 years of veganism really destroyed my health. And I've been in recovery ever since. And right now, it's really nice.
Another frequently asked question is when we will move in to the new house? And that is a question I ask every day too.
Someday.
Yeah. I guess it's going quite slow because we live as
we do.
And
produce our own food, and we don't have that large a community. I guess we're very lucky that we have your parents close by, and that Ivar is okay to being with them.
So the goal for the bigger cabin this year is to put in the floor insulation and also put the new farstu on the building.
And hopefully we will get the windows as well, that many of you guys helped finance.
We have agreed with the carpenter about the windows, so now we're only waiting for the windows, but we have no estimated time when they're coming, so he's a busy man, it seems, so I guess late autumn or something. So
I guess he's like us.
Yeah.
How often do you have time to stop, relax, and just admire what you have accomplished so far?
Never.
You'll need to learn about that.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I try to do that every day. It's not easy, but
I need to meditate some more, I think.
But I also trying to be mindful about enjoying the daily work. I really enjoy moving the sheep, putting up the fences and seeing how the grass is growing. And I really enjoy cutting the firewood and lighting up the stove. And now when we got the sauna, there is, when you sit there, you can't do anything else than sit there. So that's a really
nice.
Good place for not being able to check your phone or whatever.
But yeah, I'm in need of some more mindfulness.
The second part of this question, do you have time for yourself or is it constant work? Yeah, we sort of already answered that. But since Ivar, I guess we have very little time for ourselves.
That can be
at the moment.
A bit frustrating, for me at least sometimes.
And the third part is, what do you miss the most from the modern society? And I guess we kind of live like in the modern society, but in a more resilient way. So
yeah, we also got similar questions about what do you miss about city life. So not much.
Not much at all.
We go to the city from time to time and we're always so tired when we come home. Yeah. So
exhausting days.
Yeah.
But there is nothing particular with city life that I would miss if I never would do it. The only reason we go to the city is to get some supplies. So if we had other means of getting those supplies or being more self-sufficient here, we wouldn't need any city.
Next question. What really makes you happy? You go first.
What will I choose?
Say something good.
Having a great sauna experience, or moving the sheep, or when I'm editing and the music and the pictures fit together really, really nicely, then that's makes me happy.
Could have said me or Ivar. Oh, I don't know. We have some small dragonflies that are here like 2 or 3 weeks every summer, and they're like everywhere in the stream, and that makes me really happy because it's so beautiful to be swimming there and have those flying around you. That's really magical. And also have my sacred cup of tea with a piece of chocolate. That's also making me real happy. And picking my herbs. Så ingenting om Ivar.
I guess family and loved ones are implied.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Of course, family and loved ones too.
Will you write a book? I can see a year in the life, perhaps with some sumptuous photographs. I have no idea what that word is.
Sumptuous. It's in the plan.
Yeah, we have thought about it.
And I have started several times. But so yes.
It would be cool to make some kind of I don't know. I'm envisioning some sort of coffee table book with
mostly pictures, but maybe some recipes and Talasbuan poetry.
Who's gonna write that?
You. But yes, hopefully. Discuss your reading list and library. Take a pick. What we are reading right now.
Yeah, right now this is the one I'm reading.
And I'm reading this one right now.
But I'm also reading about common law. And you're reading that one.
And I'm reading this one.
We have several books.
Too much. So I guess books is our addiction.
It's a passion of ours.
Yeah. I have a lot of books about Faboliv and Fabod, like the place we live on. So that's like a section here.
And that's about producing food in a simple way out in the forests or out in resilient places like this.
Milking and cheeses and women living whole summers in places far away.
One of my favorite authors is Derek Jensen, so I have plenty of his books here. It's like a lot of civilization critique.
We have a lot of fantasy and novels up here. I have a quite large collection with the Rune books. Here is a lot of handicrafts.
Yeah, so making bow and arrows, primitive technology,
sheepskins,
John Seymour,
self-sufficient living. I have a lot of books about herbs, gardening, and a lot of books of food. Yeah, so I guess we will have to make a video more about what we're reading.
Yeah, this is a large topic of ours.
Yeah. Are there times when you and Tova wished you had at least one more room so you can have more private space? And you barely eat carbs. Why is that? Sometimes I wish I could have a room I can go into so I can do something on my own.
More lately.
Lately when Ivar is craving more space, so but otherwise
before Ivar it has worked perfectly well with 15 square meters.
Yeah. If we needed space, one sat in the bed and one in the sofa, and we didn't see each other because of the book wall, so that was okay.
But it works very well how we live right now, even with Ivar. It's just when we have some work to do that it can be a little bit.
You need to editing and need to have and we're all cramped in the same cabin.
So if we were not making these YouTube videos, we would not have any problem.
And barely eat carbs. Yeah, we are quite passionate about our food and what we are eating, so I guess we're also going to have a separate video for that. But someday.
No promises.
We believe that an animal-based is the best for the human body, for us.
At least that's what we
think right now.
But also, we just feel that we feel better when we avoid too much carbs. And we do eat carbs in the form of berries and fruit, but we stay away from most processed foods.
We don't eat that much veggies either. Some carrots, potatoes sometimes.
We're not fundamentalistic about our diet, but we have been experimenting with these kind of things for quite some time now, and we know by now how we feel when we eat in a certain way. And these are some of the men and women who have influenced our way of thinking when it comes to food. Do you ever spend time away from your farm as a family?
Yes.
We do, but quite rarely. We have discussed that.
We need to plan some just daily tours or just a weekend.
Daily adventures.
Yeah. Go hiking.
We need to do that more, so to say.
But we visit Mathias' family in Finland at least once a year, and then we go all. But yeah, we need to plan some more smaller trips. What do you eat normally every day? So for breakfast we are eating our homemade longfil.
Clabbered milk. Unpasteurized milk straight from the farmer in the village that we have soured, fermented.
With some berries and fruits. And also scrambled eggs with minced meat. For lunch we are eating some cheese and charcuterie, drinking some tea. And for dinner some meat. And our homemade
sour cream.
Yeah, Ivar eats a more steady lunch with some leftovers from the day before. So.
Yeah, he eats what we eat, more or less.
Are there bears in your forest, and is it safe to camp in Sweden forests? Yes, there are bears.
There are many bears.
Many bears. And some wolves, not so many. Wolverines, lynx, fox. But we never seen them. Only tracks.
The fox we have seen many times.
Yeah, the fox, a small one. And also wolverine tracks. But so far we haven't seen any and haven't lost any sheep to them. So we will see. Knock on wood. And yes, I would say it's safe to camp.
It's very safe to camp here.
Yeah.
And we also got the every man's right regulations here.
Yeah, there's some
you're allowed to camp for one night more or less anywhere.
Almost.
Maybe not on the front porch of some house, but
but in the forest.
And it's perfectly safe. You can go wherever you want to camp here. The closer you are to big cities, the more dangerous it is, because the most dangerous predators are living there. Okay, so here is a long question with several questions, but we have answered more or less
some of them already.
Some of them. But there was some interesting questions here. What are the essential skills someone would need to be able to do the same as you, build your own cabin, raise animals, etc.? So we have learned along the way. We didn't know anything about chickens, and we got some chickens and learned along the way. We didn't know anything about sheep. We got some sheep and learned along the way. I've gone to courses with the butchering and so on to make it easier, but today you can watch YouTube and do it as well. Learning by doing, so to speak. It's harder if you're not attending courses and so, but it's not impossible. So.
But it can feel safer if you have gone to a course and done it, so you are a bit prepared for what's waiting.
It's a bit daunting, I guess, to live a city life and have no idea of anything like this and just start with everything. But I guess start slow. We started with the chickens and so on. But we also had the experience of living this simple life from our childhoods as well. Me from the summer home culture in Österbotten, and you from Febo culture here. we weren't completely green when it came to this kind of life, but pretty much anyway.
So if you would say something that, eller liksom vad man ska säga, någonting som skulle säga, ja, det hade varit nice om vi hade kunnat mer om innan vi gjorde, eller vad ska man säga?
So to sum this up, you will acquire these skills
along the way.
But
it can be good to know how to light a fire before you go outside. I don't know.
You will learn.
Yeah.
You will learn. All these things you will learn. You just have to dare to take these steps.
Exactly how many projects are you working on right now? Well, it's the big cabin and it's the cellar. We are going to build a new hut for the firewood.
Hur säger man det? Vedlidare? Woodshed.
Woodshed, yeah. The garden is an ongoing project all the time.
When the cellar is ready, we are going to get some cows so we can start with the cheese making. I want to build some kind of chicken tractor so I can move the chickens around as well, regeneratively. I need to have some moss from the grassy fields where the sheep are now scratched away. So instead of using some machinery, I will try to use the chickens. And they will fertilize and scratch the moss away and give us very nutrient-dense eggs.
And then it's all the daily, like with all the food making, and we are buying milk and making our own sour cream and butter and...
I don't know if this question was about building projects, but and so also fixing the sauna is the rest of the sauna.
Yeah.
There is some small parts still to do. So I don't know how many was that.
I don't know. It's a ton.
A lot. And we got dreams and ideas about a lot of more. So I guess we will not run out of projects here.
Nope.
This is one question that we have gotten several times before as well. Do you feel that the setup you will have at home when your cabin is finished is conducive to your needs when you're old? Would you be able to retire, grow old there? Basically, what will happen when we are old and frail and we are living here?
Yeah.
That doesn't worry me at all.
Not right now, no.
We'll see when that time comes.
I guess the only thing that will be hard maybe is fetching water. Maybe.
But that's solvable. I'm just hoping that, like our ancestors, we will be healthy until we're not, and then we're ready to move on.
When someone come to visit, where do they spend the night? Yeah, that's the biggest problem with our current cabin. We don't have any space for guests, so they sleep in a tent, basically.
Yeah. We have had guests in this cabin as well, so it's no problem.
But that was before Ivar also. So.
But I guess it would work again. And the second part of this question, is there a grocery store in the village?
No.
No. The village is a small village of about 40 people. Have either of you ever suffered from mental illness? How has this life you are living now affected your mental health? And do you have any advice for people struggling with things like depression? Those who have been following this channel from the beginning know that I have been struggling with some kind of depression. But now I would say I'm completely rid of it. And what ultimately helped me, I have no idea. But I'm blaming at least partly the lack of nutrients from 10 years as a vegan. So I would say eating an ancestral diet has really helped me. It's a hard question, and every person has their own story of why they are struggling. So it's really hard to answer this question, but generally I would say clean up your diet and clean up your place. Get rid of as much toxic stuff as possible. And I do believe if someone is struggling with their mental health, something that would help them is to listen to everything and read everything that Kelly Brogan has to say about this. There's lots of podcasts and she has 2 books. I'm not saying I agree with everything she has to say, as with everything else I read or say, but I do believe that you will be helped by reading and listening to what she has to say.
Next question is Ivar fully potty trained? And I would say sort of. He has still a diaper during the nights and when he sleeps in his carrier at day, but otherwise he don't use any diapers anymore. And he is very good at telling us when he needs to go.
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah. But we have done the elimination communication since he was 3 days old, and that has worked really good for us. So, yeah.
I guess he has diapers in the night and when he is sleeping during the day, because we are
a bit lazy.
Yeah, we don't want to change the bed sheets and
yeah.
It's time to remove the diaper during the night as well.
And for the most part, it will go fantastic, I'm sure. It's only us that have been lazy. Favorit wildflower, vad ska det vara? Jag gillar, vad heter den där då?
Det är bara du som fick svar på den.
Ja. Millifolium.
Relica.
Ja, den är ju bra. Men favorite, vet inte. Tova, do you have a favorite wildflower? What is it? It's very hard to decide. I have many favorites. But
such as?
The flower of the lingonberry is really beautiful. Very small and beautiful. There's a forest star, I think it's called in Swedish at least. Skogstjärna. That's really beautiful.
Mathias, what is your favorite dish to eat that Tova makes?
I guess we're always helping each other out, so I don't know.
Is it a special dish that only you makes that I don't make?
I don't think so. Meat. My halloumi.
Yeah, your homemade halloumi. That's my favorite dish. If you could start all over again, is there anything you would do differently?
Plant more fruit trees from the beginning.
Yeah.
Because then they would have been 10 years old right now.
The thing is, everything is so restricted by how much money you have. Or not everything, but much of what you do like this. So if we would have afforded, I guess we would have built the sauna the first. But it is what it is. So I don't think we would do anything differently.
And the fruit trees. That I can think about sometimes. So yeah.
I'm wondering how you stay positive motivated when the projects go slower than expected, or you have to make exceptions or alter course. Specifically, how can you overcome the fear of making mistakes when the stakes are so high? Your own food, shelter, livelihood, etc.
It's not possible all the time to stay positive and motivated.
I guess lower your expectations. It's a good question, but it's not easy to answer.
If you start to feel frustrated, take one step away and take a look at what you have achieved so far and maybe see the bigger picture.
But when the stakes are high, your own food and shelter. So far, you can still buy food in the store, even though they don't have that much food that is edible, or there is more food-like substances there than actual food. but you can survive on it. We are still not producing everything that we eat. I guess that is some faraway goal for us to be self-sustaining. But with only 2 persons, it's hard. With 1 person, even harder. It's easier if we would be together sustaining. Or how to say, a village or something like that. Would be much easier. So the second part of this question, if you could give advice to someone starting a homestead and a sustainable life, what would it be? Is to just start with something. Start with chickens. Don't overdo it. You will get tired and frustrated, and it will not be easy. Start with chickens.
1 step at a time.
Add some sheep after some years. And just try.
Grow a little pot of herbs.
I guess the stakes would be high if we just moved out into the forest and we wouldn't have access to any other way of getting food and so on. But that's a fantasy.
Yeah.
A fantasy that I've been thinking about a lot. But how would I fare and how would it go and so on.
Small steps.
Yeah, just start and small steps.
What schooling do you both have? Or maybe what were you doing before? I finished a regular Swedish school.
Public school.
And then I didn't know what to do after the, high school? Or to translate
after the
it?
first compulsory years.
Yeah. So I went to 2 years of being a travel consultant.
Which you have used how much?
Not much. I have worked on hotels, so. And other schools is the school where we met, traditional handicrafts, and
Bäckedals folkhögskola.
Bäckedals folkhögskola. And also on Eldrimner doing the cheesemaking course.
So has any of the schooling helped you with any of the things you are doing right now?
The cheesemaking, I would guess some. The travel consultant part, not so much. Yeah. And you?
So I suffered through the public school in Finland and didn't know what to do after the first compulsory years. So I continued studying for 3 more years for some reason and took the Finnish student exam, or how to say. It's hard to find English words for these things.
It's not completely the same. I don't know.
No, it's not completely the same.
It's not university, but I don't know.
No, it's before university.
Yeah.
After that, I guess I was kind of lost and wandered about and living in different places, and then I went on a course building timber houses for 1 year. That was Sjöviks folkhögskola, and then I went to Bäckedals folkhögskola where we met. And after that I have attended Eldrimner, where I have learned about butchering and sausage making and
same school as
charcuteries. So artisanal food products, producing products.
And the regenerative course?
Yeah, so the most important one.
You forgot.
I forgot the most important one. Lately, just last year, or I was again from Bäckedals folkhögskola, the regenerative agriculture course, and I guess that's the only one I really care for. But the other ones have been very nice as well. We have this tradition of folkbildning in Sweden. I don't know.
Swedish Folk High School.
Yeah,
I think it's called.
It's really, I guess it's unique for the Scandinavian countries, or pretty unique at least. We are very lucky to be able to learn all kinds of stuff.
Crafts and music
and also getting paid for it. The courses are for free. Here is someone asking why we stopped with the rabbits. And I would say, I guess we stopped because it was more work than we got something out of it, or how to say. It was very much work for very little meat.
And it was hard to keep them in a good way. We all had the small
cages.
Yeah. We would like to have like a big field or something, but we didn't have the means to do it then, and I didn't like the taste of the meat so much, so sheep is better.
Sheep are so much better.
Yeah, but rabbits are cute. They are.
Yeah. Ideally, what kind of life would you like to be living in 10 years' time?
The cabin is ready, so we live in that. The cellar is full of cheese.
We haven't had to move.
Yeah.
Because of the forced schooling.
We maybe have some products to sell, like the beeswax salts and
cheese. I guess we will produce more cheese than we will be able to eat.
Hopefully. Yeah, so I don't know. Just keep on going. Next question. Why are there so few animals outside in Jämtland around this period of time, and why do you guys put your sheep outside anyway? We drove through Jämtland this week and it made us wonder.
So this was 8 days ago and it's in the end of May now, just to get some perspective.
Yeah, and the grass have just started to grow here.
They are farming in a non-regenerative way. If there were more farmers experimenting with regenerative farming here, you would see much more animals outside, even though the grass hasn't started to grow, because it's easier to have the animals spread the manure instead of collecting the manure and using the tractor and burning diesel to do it.
And we also have our sheep outside all year round. They only have a small shed, so they are outside already. That's why. and if you are going to follow the regulations, you need that 3 walls and a roof shelter, but they can be outside all the time anyway. Most farmers, I would say, is keeping animals inside even though they don't have to. It's just what they have been taught to do. And there is also something called utegångsprogrammet. So it's starting to loosen up a bit because the regulations say that you have to have them inside or this and that shelter.
You can apply for being allowed to to have your animals outside all year round. And so things are happening. And I hope in a couple of years you will see more animals outside, even though it's not the green season.
How cold is it inside your cabin in winter? Are you able to get it warm inside during the cold winter nights? What is temperature that you consider cold, and when is it pleasant, both inside and outside your home? Well, how cold? Not so
we
cold.
live on a 15 square meter cabin, and if we light the stove, it will be very warm inside here.
Like quick 30 degrees warm Celsius.
So we struggle. In the summertime we're struggling. We can't use the stove at all. Then it will get too hot here.
But at night, at winter, when it's really cold outside, maybe in the morning it's plus 10 degrees Celsius.
And then we wake up and we light the stove. It's no problem sleeping when it's cold. It's rather nice.
It's nice to have a cold bedroom.
And then when we light the stove, it's 15 minutes or so, and we have above 20 degrees Celsius. And so when it's like minus 30 for weeks outside, then the stove is burning every day, all day almost.
Yeah.
It's seldom that cold. So it's usually when we make breakfast, we light the stove, and then when we make dinner, we light the stove.
And what we consider cold, inside, outside?
We try to keep it above 20 degrees, just above 20 degrees inside. In the summer, we really like to have it like
18.
16 or something.
And what we consider cold outside, I don't know, 30, minus 30.
That's cold.
That's cold.
And
but we live in a place where it's very dry cold, so even if it's below minus 20, it doesn't feel that bad. But if you go to the coast, for example, and it's like minus 5,
Gothenburg or Stockholm or something.
That's really awful.
It's always pleasant outside.
If you have the right clothing.
How did you learn about the importance of traditional food for health, and would you want to share which aspects you feel most passionate about? So I came in contact with the Western A Prize Foundation because I was struggling with the health of my teeth after 10 years of being a vegan. Those 10 years really destroyed my teeth. And since there are so many people today that struggle with the health of their teeth, there is something not right with the modern dentistry. So I was searching for alternative dentistry. And then I found Dr. Weston A. Price and also the Weston A. Price Foundation after that. And I immersed myself in what they had to say about traditional foods. And listened to every podcast episode from their podcast and read many of their texts and books. Which aspect you feel most passionate about? I guess I'm very passionate about speaking out against veganism. And then I'm also very passionate about what is called food sovereignty. For me, it is very important that we are able to provide for ourselves and that we are able to produce our own food, and that all men and women around the world should be able to produce their own foods. So this is another controversial topic, and we won't read it out aloud. But we have been reading these books. And that is all we will say.
If there was one thing you could add to your life at Talasbuan, what would that be?
Well, now we got the sauna, so nothing.
A creamery.
Some cows. Some cows
and yeah.
But that's things we will fix.
Yeah. Do you make or forage for any medicine, elderberry syrup or any plants? Yes. I have my herbal garden and I collect a lot of things that we use. We have planted now an elderberry tree, but I'm not sure it has survived the winter, so we will see.
Yeah, that's the problem here. The apple tree has survived and the sea buckthorn bushes have survived. We'll see if the cherry tree will survive. But the elderberry tree has no leaves yet.
No.
So we'll see.
I hope it's in a place that it hasn't started yet, but yeah, that would be nice. But yeah, a lot of different herbs. So.
And it's hard to name them because
I don't know the
language.
Yeah. So maybe I will do a blog post about it someday.
I would love to know two things. Number one, what kind of stove oven is that you have in your home? The stove is a regular wood-burning kitchen stove. So if you search for wood-burning kitchen stove, you will find.
At least here in Sweden, it's
you will find
quite
it.
easy.
At least in Europe, you will find it. Many of them are made in Austria, I think, and Italy.
And
but
they
this
are
is a
cast
Swedish
iron.
This is a Swedish brand.
Yeah.
The second question is, do you ever struggle with being so isolated? And if so, how do you cope with it?
We are not so isolated.
No.
Maybe from friends, because they live far away. And that's one kind of isolation. But
we would love to have a bigger community here. But it is what it is. We do meet a lot of the villagers and your family. But it would be nice to have
some of our friends closer by. But we do enjoy having the space here, so yeah, we live in a nice spot. Which one of you plays the guitar? Matthias tries to play the guitar.
So I am musically illiterate, and I really would like to play some instrument, but apparently not so much so that I take time for it. I have some periods where I do it more often, but because I'm such a beginner, it's really hard.
And I have played the violin for quite some time, but now it was a long time ago. But I bought one on auction, so I have one, but I haven't played it yet. We really want to play also, so Ivar will have the possibility to see the instruments and want to play something. It's nice to have the music around.
This is an interesting question. Here is someone whose dad told her that chickens have a bad smell when you butcher them.
Do you find this to be true?
I haven't. No, not at all. No. It's every animal when you butcher them has a distinct scent, but
nothing bad. What is the most joyous part of being a parent? I guess most of the things, except for cranky times. It was really lovely to see him talk and hear all the new words he suddenly can say and surprise us with new meanings, and so every day is a surprise.
So I guess what is really exciting is to be able to follow the development. From not crawling to crawling, and then to walking and to talking, and it has been exciting.
Yeah.
Did you ever struggle so hard that you thought you would have to quit this lifestyle? I'm not sure it is possible to quit.
Once you started.
What would we do if we didn't do this?
I guess maybe it was hard sometime when we also worked on other places 100% and then came home and had all the work at the farm. That could be tough, but
it was very tough in the beginning. But when I'm thinking about this question, it's like, what would I do if I didn't do this? I would most likely do something very similar somewhere else. So I don't know any other ways to live, or how to say. So that's about it for episode 100.
And we just wanted to say thank you to each and every one of you for watching and supporting us through these videos.
Yeah, I guess this will be the last video.
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
We got many more stories to tell.
So I guess this is it for this episode.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.